Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Boxing Science TV. This is episode 10 and this is called Prepare to be a Champion. It's a lot about coaching psychology. Now before we get into this episode, I'd like to ask you, as always, please subscribe to our channel. We're going to be uploading loads of free content in the coming months and we don't want you to miss out. So click the subscribe button and enjoy this episode. Welcome to episode 10 and this is called Prepare to be a Champion, and we're going to be talking a lot about kind of coaching psychology and psychology of an athlete. And I don't want you to be thinking like this is psychology of a fighter and how to prepare to be a champion inside the ring. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you about how you can prepare to be a champion outside of the ring. Obviously, preparation before a fight is obviously so important, and remember the quote from Muhammad Ali: the fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on that road, long before I dance under those lights. Now, all athletes should really resonate with this quote. You've probably been told 1,000 times about the importance of preparation, whether it's for a fight, maybe like for a school trip, or like for school exams, being told to make sure that you revise and everything like that. You're being told about preparation. So let's go through like a few different examples. Think about the times where, things that you need to prepare for on a day-to-day basis. Imagine if you forgot your wraps. Imagine if you forgot your gloves or your sparring gear. How does that have an impact on your training session? You can't spar, but you can't get the work in. How does that have an impact on your week and your training camp? We've only got a certain amount of time to prepare for our bouts, so you need to make sure that day by day you're making the most of every session. So obviously, this whole video isn't just about making sure that you remember your sparring kit, but thinking about the ways that you can prepare or get the most out of each training session. And a lot of this is basically controlling the controllables. In training, in competition, and in life in general, we've got things that we can control and a lot of things that we can't control. So this comes under the uncontrollables. So something that you can control is something dependent on you and within your control. So like an example there, got your boxing kit or turning up on time for your training sessions, making sure you're getting a good warm-up in. And then you've got a series of uncontrollables. And this is something that you can't control. Example, sparring partner not turning up. And there's loads of different examples that we can talk about. So for in boxing, as controllables are as diet, as hydration, kit and equipment, making sure that we're doing the right training at the right time, making sure we've got good tapering strategies as well. Maybe a mental rehearsal and going through the game plan would be beneficial, but that's something that you can control, make sure that you do. Venue walkthrough and self-reflection as well. And there's a load of uncontrollables. Focusing on your opponent. You can't control your opponent, especially when you're talking about the amateurs or you're talking about title level fights in the professional ranks. You can't control the age, the ability, the height, what weight they're getting in the ring, their skill, their ability, their game plan as well. You can only control what you can control. You can't control the referee. You can't control the coach's decisions. And a lot of times you can't control the changing room or warm-up area. You've got to be able to adapt. The competition environment, you can't control where a fight takes place, and also media coverage as well. So that's just a list of controllables and uncontrollables. Of course we can't control the opponent or the referee or anything like that, but how often than not that you focus on these uncontrollables rather than focusing on the things that you can control. Now this is something that I've talked about with some boxers recently when they've got big fights coming up. And the only thing that they can control is being 100% their self, becoming a better version of their self as well. And the things that they can control are the things that don't necessarily, take any talent or skill. Stuff like managing their training, the recovery, their nutrition, making sure that they're doing a proper warm-up as well. A video that really resonates with me, I'm going to encourage you to go and watch it, is The Technician by Stanford University. And I've shown nearly every athlete that I've worked with this video. I'm leaving a link below where you can watch it after. I'm just going to tell you about some of the key learnings that I get from this video, but I strongly advise it's 10 minutes, just as long as this video. It's only 10 minutes long, and it's well worth watching and well worth showing your athletes. I'm just going to share with you the different things that I've taken from the video and have kind of drilled into the athletes that I work with. So here are the main things that I've taken from the Technician video. Concentrate on what you can control. And this is your attitude, your work ethic, your mental discipline, making sure that you're turning up to the gym on time. Master the things that take no talent. It doesn't take any talent to make sure that you're warming up in the right way, activating the key muscle groups to get the most out of your session. Making sure that you're organised and on time for each training session, and organising your training plan, making sure that you're not doing too much towards the back end of the week or at the start of the week that might cause illness, fatigue, or maybe injury. And making sure that you're eating at the right time with your nutrition, making sure that you're fully hydrated. Now, how much talent does it actually take to make sure that you're drinking 3 to 5 litres of water a day? And ask yourself now, how many litres of water do you drink? How strict are you on your diet? This takes no talent, and you can become a much better rounded athlete just by mastering the things that take no talent. Maximising the opportunity to progress, be the best you can be. And all these things that we're talking about now is becoming a 100% version of you, or becoming a better version of you. Again, it takes no talent. And make that choice. You do your own warm-up, your own preparation to be a pro. And that last one is a major thing. Make that choice. Make that choice to do the little things that can have a big impact on your training. So for that last line, make that choice. For the athletes out there, make the choice to do the right recovery, making sure that you're organising your training, to make sure that you're doing your mobility and your foam rolling, making sure that your muscles are recovering right and getting prepared for the next session. For the coaches out there, make that choice a little bit easier for your athletes. So a thing that I do is to make sure that the athletes that I work with do their mobility and the movement training. We do the same warm-up every single session, so it's drilled into them, so it becomes second nature. I know from experience that making sure that they're doing the same thing every time and making sure we're obviously covering all the right areas and everything like that, there's more likelihood of them going and doing it at home, doing it before the boxing sessions. So think about the different ways that you can help your athlete make that choice and becoming the technician. So to give you an example about the things that the boxers do down here at Boxing Science, I had a quick interview with Jordan Gill, Gary McDonald and Anthony Fowler, because I really see these as being great examples for young athletes coming through about managing the training, their nutrition, the recovery and everything like that. I want to give you a little bit of an insight to how they become the technician in their training. What kind of things do you have to do to kind of prepare for each session?
Make sure we're warmed up, ready to go. Don't want to get no injuries and stuff, so a lot of mobility work, warming the joints up, muscles, and obviously in boxing, shadow boxing, footwear, and then in the S&C, mobility stuff, core work, stuff like that.
How does that make you feel when you do the mobility work?
Just wakes you up. You go in the gym, you're a bit stiff, you're a bit cold, just to loosen you up, and injury prevention is the main thing.
I think it's good to have a good routine that you do. If you go through the same routine every time, then even if you walk into the gym mentally, you feel like, I'm not having a good day. Once you've done your routine, your mobility, your stretching, you've activated all your core, you've activated your glutes, you know you're going to be firing in the same way as you always are. So if you aren't mentally prepared, then once you've done your warm-up, you're usually in the same state as you usually are. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, and it's like making sure that every session counts really as well. Like you've only got a limited time to get fit. You want to make sure that every session counts, and warming up in the right way is obviously going to be beneficial to you. So we see like the training videos, you see you like on the pads and everything like that. What are the kind of things that a lot of people don't see what a boxer has to go through and has to organise during training camp?
Just everyday things like people don't realise you have to go to bed and get enough sleep. You want at least 8 hours sleep a night. You have to organise the food that you're eating around your training schedule. So if you've got a rush from one session to the other, you make sure that your food is prepared, because obviously boxers have to cut weight, so your nutrition has to be right. And even if you don't have to cut weight, to get the nutrient timing in at the right times, you want your carbs and your protein at the right times to give you the best chance of recovering and the best chance to replenish.
Yeah. So it's not just about eating the right foods, it's eating at the right time. What kind of do you keep like a diary or a log of what you eat or something like that?
Not really, I just eat small enough and I eat between my sessions. Obviously depends what time of training. I normally eat like 2 hours before to give me a chance to digest my food, and it's not worse than training on a full stomach, so just base it around the sessions really.
Yeah, I feel like you sort of can't plan too far ahead because you never know what you're going to be doing. Like with a lot of boxing trainers like to mix it up and give you different sessions, different days, but it's always important to have sort of the same stuff like in the fridge, what you're always used to eating. So I keep it simple. I know a couple of times a week I'm going to have an oily fish like salmon. Most of the time I'm going to be eating chicken or eggs as protein sources. Obviously I'll have a protein shake after training, and I vary the carb sources up, so I'll have either like brown rice, sweet potatoes, just good wholesome foods that I know is going to replenish my body. And the same, the way I cycle carbs, I also get different nutrients from the greens. So I like green beans one day, I like broccoli the other day, and just mix it up.
What things do you use to like kind of monitor your training? Obviously, like talking about, I've just said about like a training log, something like that, but obviously you've got heart rate monitors, calorie trackers, anything like that, do you use?
Yeah, I use a Polar Beat app on my phone, and it comes with, I've got a Polar strap on my arm. You can get a chest strap as well, and it tells you how many calories you're burning, what zones you're working in, what your heart rate is, and it's good to monitor your recovery in between each round or each set on weights, and it helps with your nutrition as well, because obviously if you know what you're burning, you know what you can refuel with.
Obviously you've got to be strict and disciplined in yourself in your day-to-day, do you know what I mean, and watch what you're eating, calorie-wise and whatnot, but I have a nutritionist who he monitors it all, do you know what I mean, day-to-day, sends me my plans over what to eat, what time to eat, do you know what I mean, and he looks after everything, so it takes a big weight off my shoulder, and I can just focus on my training, do as I'm told, do you know what I mean, and then make the weight, do you know what I mean, a lot more comfortable than I would do if I did it myself.
Yeah. So he's not there to hold your hand all the time, so there's a lot of responsibility on you. So what kind of things do you communicate back with him?
Back and forth all the time, do you know what I mean? We've got heart rate monitors, what allow us to know exactly what calories we're burning in each session. So every session I'll send him that over. He'll know exactly what I'm burning, if I need more calories, if I haven't burnt quite enough, if it was a steadier session, he can take out certain things, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So he can control it day to day, do you know what I mean? So we just ticking boxes with little things, and the heart rate monitor plays a massive part, do you know what I mean? And back and forth with him, other than it just being week by week and it get to Friday and you've not burnt enough calories to what you thought you would, but you've still ate the same amount of food, do you know what I mean? So this more in depth, we're going from session to session really, not day to day, it's session to session. So if I put an hard session in and I've burnt more, it will give me more food to fuel me for the next session.
Yeah, it's one of those like kind of finer details that a lot of kind of coaches that watch the training sessions don't actually recognise.
No, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know how many calories you're burning. You think, like, sometimes I'll train and you don't think you've burnt that much. You look down, you've done an absolute killing on your calories.
Yeah.
I relay that straight back and I say, right, put extra toast in, get an extra bit of egg, do you know what I mean? And then, so my body's then repairing more fuel. If not, you would just, your body would lack the energy, you'd lack the food, so then you'd be going into your sessions not fully where you should be. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I've noticed, this camp especially is just finely tuning things, and like we say, we're learning all the time, and it's massive part, do you know what I mean? And hopefully it'll all come together come fight night and play a big part.
Yeah, so like a lot of boxers, when they make weight, they try and eat as little as they can, train as hard as they can, they end up being ill, fatigued, often injured as well, and these are all things that you've avoided. Another way of avoiding or reducing the likelihood of injury is like doing stuff like mobility training. How does that kind of fit, like, making sure that your body's warm and everything like that? How important is that for you?
Obviously in the mornings worse, or obviously afternoon session when you aren't quite had enough rest, you come and you do your mobility, it just fires you, ignites your body. You know what I mean? After 10-15 minutes, you do feel alive. You normally come in, you just have a little shake your arms and legs, you're not quite ready. So you're going into your sessions, your body's not firing. With the mobility, you go 10-15 minutes, your body's there, do you know what I mean? It's ignited, and then you are ready, just switch you on. It gives you like a little lease of life. Yeah.
So like you're getting the most out of your session, the warm up is really beneficial for that. Talk to me about kind of, the stuff that you say when you're in a training session, making every session count, is becoming a better version of you. Kind of how do you see what you put into training, how important it is every time?
I train, I mean, world title or not, I train hard, put it in, and like I say, this camp, every single session I've made count in one way or another. If I've had to have a steadier session, I've done the best I can for the steadier session. If it's been a light run or light session, do you know what I mean? I've done it to the best. When I've done my hard sessions, I'm absolutely smashing them. Do you know what I mean? And I think if you work by that motto, do you know what I mean? Just make each session count. Take one session at a time, do you know what I mean? And really put it in and make the most of it. By the time end of your camp comes, do you know what I mean? You've ticked every box, and that's where I'm at now. Every box being ticked, and now I'm full of confidence, do you know what I mean? Knowing that the preparation's gone unbelievable.
Now that's a great insight from 3 really top athletes that take the time to focus on the things that take no talent. Now the main thing that I kind of took from that is about the heart rate monitor and monitoring like how many calories that they're burning. I've had a lot of questions recently, even though I'm not a nutritionist, about things about the diet and the best way to lose weight. And one of the key things that they're missing is actually monitoring how many calories that they're eating and how many calories are they burning. And at Boxing Science, we're privileged to have the facilities down here at Sheffield Hallam University, where we've got the GEM machine, which analyses their RMR, the resting metabolic rate, so how many calories that they're actually burning when they're sedentary. And also we use the heart rate monitors that evaluate how many calories are being burnt within the training session. This makes sure that a nutritionist can put in a detailed plan to make sure that an athlete isn't being underfueled or overfueled, to make sure that they're avoiding fatigue and illness and losing weight very steadily week by week rather than crashing off the weight. The gimbal's going again. This makes sure that a nutritionist is able to put in a really detailed plan to make sure that they're losing weight gradually rather than crashing it off. It also helps them being able to make sure that they're fueling in the right way, fueling for the big days, and maybe making sure that they're not eating too much on a recovery day as well, to make sure that the right amount of deficit is there to lose weight in the optimal way and to avoid stuff like fatigue and illness and injuries as well. So when an athlete looks after themselves that well and make sure that they wear the heart rate monitor for every session, reporting back to the nutritionist, that's getting the most out of their training camp, making sure that the nutritionist knows exactly what to do and what foods to eat and when, rather than like guesswork. You know, a good phrase that we've used at Boxing Science: if you're not assessing, you're guessing. And just putting a diet plan out there and not actually monitoring calories coming in and calories coming out is a bit of guesswork. And that really depends on the athlete as well. Like I said with Gavin there, you know, he's making sure that he's wearing his heart rate monitor every session and reporting back. That's making sure that he gets the best out of the program. So hopefully that's given you a great insight to how preparation can help get the most out of your training. You know, these are the things that you don't see on an interview on YouTube or training highlights that we put up on Instagram. You know, you see the big lifts and the big sprints and everything like that, but you don't actually see the level of detail that we go into Boxing Science. But a lot is dependent on the athletes. You know, the program is there for the athletes. It's about them making the most of it, and these are the sort of stuff that we can't do. You know, we can't make sure that we're taking their weight every day. We can't make sure that they're wearing the heart rate monitor in the boxing sessions. These factors are all dependent on the athlete. Now, if you're an athlete watching this, maybe we've inspired you a little bit more to make sure that you're ticking all the boxes. But if you're a coach as well, maybe you might show an athlete this video or go through with them. You know, these are the things that we expect, these are the things that you can control, and this is a massive impact that it can have on your training camp. So thanks everybody for watching. If anyone's got any questions, reach out to us through like Instagram, Wilson_boxingscience, email boxing.sci@gmail.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and look out for some more episodes of Boxing Science TV.